Hey guys, I just saw you on Snapchat, but hey guys, I just want to say hi. What the hell happened with Yentyl? This is a stupid picture. I love movies for some reason, with all of my being. I thrive to watch movies. That being said, I like to criticize them. Probably a little too much. I like being critical of movies. I like watching a good movie and pointing out some of the flaws. I like watching bad movies and enjoying it. Like, I love it. I feel like different experiences you can have with the same, how many different experiences one can have with the same movie, and how, especially looking back into movies that were really popular, rewatching them and seeing how they stand up today, test of time, or trying to figure out why that had value at that time when it seems to have no value in today's time. I love that. That being said, I watched Yentyl, and as far as I can tell, it was a fairly popular Broadway play, and then decently popular movie. I guess I should look and see how popular that was. I thought I had heard good things about it, so I watched it. It is a mess of a musical. It is a mess of a movie. It feels like, gosh, it'd be interesting to do some research into that one, because it just sure feels like they did half of a job there. As far as being a musical, generally I expect from a musical for there to be at least 5 numbers. Let's say it's a 2-hour movie. I mean, like a Disney movie, probably gonna have more like 5 numbers. An average musical is probably gonna have somewhere around 8. And if it's one that's performed before, like performed as a Broadway musical, they tend to have more, I feel like. So it'd be maybe more like 10 or 12. To me, 10 or 12 is too much. 8 is a good number. 7 is pretty concise. 5 is probably not quite enough, but it could be plenty. Like if you're really concise with all of your songs, that can be plenty, depending on the musical. So Yentyl, I believe, had something like 7 or 8. And here's what surprised me: they were all sung by Yentyl. And another thing that surprised me, the very first song that we get, I didn't realize that Yentyl was a musical. That was this was my first time watching Yentyl. Obviously, it's Barbra Streisand, so it's probably going to be a musical. I know that she can sing. She's a great singer. She starts singing. All right, guys, don't judge me. Don't judge me for this. I was in the shower while I was watching Yentyl, and she starts singing, and I'm like, oh, she's singing. I didn't realize this was a moment we were going to, get an expression of feeling through song. I'm listening to the song. It's fine. I peek out of the shower, and her mouth's not moving. I was like, oh no! It's one of those musicals. I don't like musicals, especially musicals like that. It's difficult. Like, there are moments where she shouldn't be mouthing the words, where it should be like she's singing to us, but in this moment. So, okay, let me give you a good example. There are moments when she shouldn't be singing with her mouth. She should just be singing to us, but it's not the moment in the story for someone to be breaking out into song. That was a moment for someone to be breaking out into song because she was by herself, so there's no point in her not singing. She was alone in the room, so she could literally be belting her heart out to us, and it wouldn't affect the story or the continuity or like your what's the word? Suspension of disbelief. It wouldn't affect your suspension of disbelief. So that should have been a moment where she belts out her heart, where she sings to us. She sings at us. She sings her heart out, and we happen to be there to hear it. I would love that. Instead, she sings mouth closed, I guess, on her head. There's another moment that it's a perfect moment for her to be singing in her head rather than singing out loud. And that's the moment where later in the... So Yentyl, if you don't know Yentyl very well, which you probably don't, I didn't. It's a story about a girl who loves to study, it's a story about... Okay, Yentyl is a story about a Jewish girl where studying for women is forbidden. During a time where studying for women is forbidden, where it's only for men. Women are only supposed to read like storybooks and not really supposed to study at all. Yentyl loves to study, and her dad allows it because he like encourages her to be studious even though it's against the Jewish law. So when her dad passes away, she decides to dress up as a man to study and maybe try and get into some sort of school to be able to study. So she does this, and she gets into a school where she meets a man that she falls in love with. However, obviously, because she's dressed up as a man, she can't act on those feelings. So instead, she befriends him and tries to sort of keep her romantic interests away from him, because that would be weird. During this time, obviously, now it would be different, whatever. So this man is actually engaged to be married to another woman who he's madly in love with. Yentyl decides that, whatever, I can just be friends with him. He's going to marry this other girl. But the engagement is broken off. So, to keep this girl close to him, I forget his name, to keep this girl close to him, the girl that he loves, he asks Yentyl to marry her. And he says, that's the closest I'll ever get. You're like a brother to me. Marry her. This, to me, is where the story starts to fall apart. So instead of, okay, she decides, she says, no, I can't do it. And finally, when he's like, okay, well, I'm leaving town, like, I can't even be near her, she says, all right, fine, I'll do it. Like, so, but don't leave town. I don't want you to leave. You're everything to me. She doesn't say that. But because of her overwhelming romantic interest in him, she doesn't want him to leave. And so she says that she'll marry this girl. This, to me, right here, is where the story takes a left turn where I thought it'd take a right. So I thought, right at this moment, okay, she says she's going to marry her, but obviously she can't. She's in love with this guy. Girl's in love with this guy. Girl thinks that she's a man, so everything is deceitful. So she can't marry this girl under these pretenses. Excuse me. So what's going to happen in the story is that they're going to make the time from now to the wedding the tense time. This is going to be the rest of the story, and the pivotal moment is going to be at the wedding. She's going to say, I can't do it, I can't marry you, I'm a girl, I love you, I don't love you. All of that's going to happen at the wedding, and everything before, like everything from this moment until the wedding is the rest of the time in the movie. But that's not what the movie does. Rather than make this time the rest of the movie, the tense points in the story, making this the awkward bumbles between her and between Yentyl, who is a girl, and the girl that she's supposed to marry, who thinks that Yentyl's a man. Instead of all this, within about 10 minutes, she decides that she's going to marry the girl. She meets the girl. It's not that she meets the girl. She already knew the girl. Yentyl had accompanied the man to have dinner with her family. With the girl's family. I should really know everyone's name. That would help. So, where was I? This is fun. No wonder people edit. So rather than do that, Yentyl sings us a song about how this girl really is like a perfect wife, basically. She's saying, like, this girl is beautiful, she's attentive, she's submissive, she's awesome, no wonder he loves her. And during this song, which actually, going back to my previous point, this is the song that is perfect for her to be singing in her head rather than out loud, because it's a moment between her, Yentyl, and the girl that she's engaged to be married to. It's a moment between them where the girl is trying to be attentive and prove that she's going to be a good wife and prove that she's going to be loving and serving. And Yentyl is sitting there awkwardly, not reacting to anything that she does other than looking at her out of the side of her eye. So it's a really funny moment where she's singing in her head about everything that the girl is doing and her. So that's a good moment for her to be singing in her head rather than out loud, because it shows us that, okay, she's not like talking to the girl or singing. Like, it's clear to us what's happening is what's happening. And the song is how she feels inside, and we get to see that. So it's a perfect moment for that. But the movie does a lot of flip-flopping back and forth between singing out loud, singing in her head, for no reason. That one is a great reason to do so, and if the rest of the movie was out loud and then that song is in her head, I wouldn't have any problem with it. But the very first song, she's singing in her head when she really should be singing out loud, and then it flip-flops back and forth throughout the movie. I think that makes it difficult for me to have it makes it difficult for me as a movie watcher to have some sort of continuity about the music, like what's going on in the story. What am I actually looking at? So going back to my second point number 2, which is that the movie took a left turn instead of a right. So I thought, if you remember from 10 minutes ago I thought that the movie was going to be the time from when she got engaged to the wedding. That was going to be the rest of the movie. By the time the wedding hit, that's the pivotal moment. She says, I can't do it anymore. I'm sorry. I've been deceiving you all. And that's when they confront her. Rather, when she meets with the girl and she has her song in her head, actually my favorite song in the movie, they have cutscenes. They begin to flash forward to the wedding and show us what's going to happen. And I got this feeling inside. I was like, are they going to cut to the wedding? They can't. They can't cut to the wedding because you can't marry her. She's a girl. Like, she's going to get beheaded if she marries her. And, like, the girl thinks she's a guy. Like, what deception? They can't do that. What do you think that they did? They cut to the wedding. Like, right after, they flash forward, and then they cut to the wedding. And now I'm realizing that that's not the song that she was singing when she cut to the wedding. Whatever. My favorite song is not the song that she was singing, but that's fine. So the rest of the movie is her married to the girl and, like, pushing off consummating the wedding, because obviously that would be like, the girl would be like, oh, you're a girl. This is, like, a sham. So she's pushing off consummating the marriage and being like, it's like, you're a woman, you get the right to decide, and I don't want you to do anything that you don't want to do, which honestly, like, all of those are great things done out of fear of her deception being found out. Like, it's just such an odd way for the story to go. Like, sure, deception is a part of every modern story anymore. Like, any rom-com that is similar like that, there are things like that today. Let me think of for example, how many rom-coms that you know are set up, two guys talking, oh, I bet you can't go out with that girl over there, and the guy's like, oh, I bet I can, because I sure am a player. And the guy's like, oh, I bet you can't by next Saturday. And so the guy goes and asks out the girl, and then he falls in love with the girl. And finds out that he really loves her, and she really loves him. It's a great relationship. And the next Saturday, the guy comes up to both of them and is like, hey, I'm so sorry that I lost the bet. Here's your $20. And she's like, I can't believe that you lied to me. Our whole relationship's a sham. That's the whole, like, there are so many movies that are that basic setup where one person in the relationship deceives the other and then struggles the whole movie to try and figure out how to share with them that they've been deceiving them, that even though their relationship started out as deceit, it turned out with real feelings. Because how do you forgive that? There are so many movies like that. And Yentyl is one of them. And it's a little bit of an older movie, so, like, it's a little bit before that curve started, before that trend started. So that is not my problem with the movie. My problem is not that the relationship is based on deception and she has to reveal to him and he becomes angry. My problem is that rather than just making it that she is like, okay, she's deceiving them, but for good reason, she wants to study and it's forbidden. I think that's a great reason. It's a great setup. It's a great pretense. It's actually to me, a really funny setup. And if they would have taken that right turn where I thought they were going to go, I think I would have enjoyed the movie a lot more. But instead of, they make her deception like 30 times worse and then forgive her immediately. And that brings me to my last point, where at the end of the movie, my third point, the end of the movie, the way that they decided to conclude the movie. So Yentyl marries this girl and pushes off consummating the marriage. Tells this girl, it basically puts it on her. You have your right to choose. I don't want you to be thinking about him and making love to me. I wouldn't want that for you. It's your choice. Finally, the more that the girl spends time with Yentyl, the more that she honestly falls in love with her. It's just so messed up to me. That's so deceitful. Basis of your relationship. Moving on. So the more that she talks with Yentyl, the more the relationship that she builds with Yentyl, the more that she falls in love with her. And finally, in what feels like the most awkward and hilarious scene, she's like, I'm ready to consummate the marriage. I'm ready. Like, I love you. I'm not thinking of him anymore. And I can see that in a misunderstanding, because she does not know that Yentyl's a girl and that Yentyl is still in love with her best friend. She thought that when they were all together, that Yentyl was googly eyes over her, when in reality it was him. So she said, I can see that you love me and I love you. Let's consummate the marriage. And gives her the like, do me eyes. And it's so awkward and hilarious that I couldn't stop nervous laughing throughout the whole scene, where I was like, oh my god, what is she doing? I'm still nervous laughing because of that scene. Like, it makes me so anxious. It's like hilarious because I'm like, what the hell is happening? It's a what the hell is happening moment while also being hilarious. Anyways, Yentyl still gets out of it. So Yentyl keeps pushing off consummating the marriage. Finally, she says, I have to go on this trip. I'm going to go with my best friend. Her best friend is the man that the girl was engaged to. The one she's married to. Love triangle. So she goes on a trip with her best friend and tells him, I need to tell you something, but not till we get there. And he's like, what do you need to tell me? Ooh, ooh, ooh. Finally, they get there, and she tells him, and he doesn't believe her, obviously, so she flashes him to prove that she's a woman. And he gets just angry, so angry. He's throwing stuff, he's screaming, he's yelling, I can't believe this. I'm scared for Yentyl's actual physical safety at this point. I'm like, oh my gosh, this guy's so angry, he's actually gonna hurt her. So he grabs her and shakes her. Why did you do this? Why did you do this? Why did you do this? She's like, it's because I love you. I just wanted to be near you. I love you. And he comforts her. So after she breaks down and says, like, I love you, it's because I love you. I just wanted to be near you. I don't know why. I just wanted to be near you. I love you. He hugs her. And he sort of breaks down a little bit too. Says, like, I love you too. I just thought there was something wrong with me. Because I always wanted to be near you. I always kind of wanted to like be near you and touching you. And I just thought there was something wrong with me. And I kind of pushed it off. But everything makes more sense now. We can get married. I don't know about everyone else. But to me that felt like such a leap. First of all, they're friends all this time. And maybe he has his doubts. If they would have, I think there is where the movie took another left turn where it should have taken a right. Rather than just be like, I thought there was something wrong with me. Now you're a girl, let's get married. Instead of just making that huge leap from friend to I hate you to I love you. Just make it the whole time where he's doubting himself, where he has like sessions with a therapist, where he's like, oh my gosh. And I forgot to mention the reason why the wedding between him and that girl, The reason why that got annulled is because his brother had committed suicide, and according to Jewish beliefs, melancholia runs in the family, and so he is unmarriable. So she can't marry him anymore. And she still loves him, but they can't get married. So, instead of just bringing that out of nowhere and saying, I thought there was something wrong with me, that I was crushing on you, even though you're a guy, and now you're a girl, let's get married. Instead of doing that, just show him a little bit throughout the movie, seeing a therapist, or talking to another friend, or even, asking her intimate questions, and seeing that, like, confused look on his face where he's, like, intrigued, and then, like, no, I'm wrong, like, what am I doing? This is crazy, or whatever. Prove that to me. That there was something going on in him beforehand where he's struggling, This is my friend. Why do I feel like this? This is my friend. Why do I feel like this? Then there's this release at the end of the movie of like, oh my God, I thought all of this was happening when in reality you're a girl. Where there's anger because you're being lied to, and it's still justified. It's even more justified now that we know that he was confused the whole time. He can be betrayed. Anyways, so the movie takes a left turn, and it's just like, it doesn't show us any of that. He's just angry. Very, very angry. So angry. He's throwing stuff. He's pushing people. He's screaming at the top of his lungs, and then just jumps right over that ocean, and is like, I love you, and let's get married. So I think that instead of taking that left turn, they should have taken a right turn. And showed us some of that. Showed us the confusion. Then once we get to that moment, he's still angry. He's still angry, but he's more hurt than he is angry. That's the only way he knows to express it, until she breaks, and then he breaks. And he's like, I thought there was something wrong with me. Like, how could you do this to me? I thought there was something wrong with me. That's what you made me think of myself. And then once they, cry for a little bit, then he can be like, I think I love you. Let's get married. Which is still a jump, but like, I'd be overwhelmed with relief if I thought that I was in love with my friend, and then found out that somebody who, like, understands me, knows me, loves me, like, supports me, is actually a man who I'm attracted to. I would be overwhelmed with relief to be like, oh, there's nothing, like, I don't know, there's nothing wrong with me. Like, obviously, this is the culture of the time. There's nothing wrong with me. You were just deceiving me the whole time. But, like, I'm so relieved. Let's just get married. We're perfect for each other. It's less of a jump that way than it is the way that they actually decided to do it. So that's my problem with Yentyl. It feels like they settled on, I don't know if it was a known path at the time, because it's basically the same plot as Mulan. Obviously the animated version, she ends up with the guy, whereas this version, which I didn't tell you yet. So he proposes marriage, and Yentyl says, like, yeah, let's do it. And he's like, well, obviously you won't be able to. And she's like, yeah, let's do it. How am I going to keep studying? And he's like, what do you mean keep studying? Obviously you're going to be a submissive housewife. Duh. Like, you can study at home, I guess, but, like, you're going to... All right. That's actually my fourth point. Didn't know I had a fourth point, but I do. So, into this movie, everything that's happened, he has known her for what feels like a year now, or maybe years, honestly. I can't tell how time's passing in this universe. But, I'm gonna go to the bathroom here right there. Down the way. like I said, I can't tell how time is passing in this universe, so I'm not 100% sure. But it feels like it's been a year. So he's known her for quite some time. He's a good friend. They're good friends. They've known each other. And she is not only intrigued by things, but like is a ravenous studier. Like she wants to know. She's curious. She's like, it's like instead of food, she thrives on questions and getting her questions answered, which I can relate to, honestly. I'm a very curious person. That being said, the first thing he says to her after he proposes marriage is, obviously you're going to be a housewife now. You have to be a submissive housewife like I've known her, my former fiance to be. That's how you have to be. Even though all of this time that I've known you, you've never been that way. Which I can't, for the life of me, figure out what they were thinking. Like, why would he even think that? He's known her for, I'm gonna say, the shortest time he could have known her is like 4 months. 5 months, maybe. Like, that's the very shortest time that he could have known her, with her engagement, her marriage, his engagement, like the time that he met her and studied with her. The shortest possible time that I can think is like 4 or 5 months. But likely it was like a year, because they studied together, then she met his fiance, then they broke up, then she got engaged, then she got married, then she's pushing off the, like all that time makes me think that it's been about a year. And in all that time, with all of her questions, rigorous studying, her fervent like search for knowledge, her fervent questions, none of that, like all of that has escaped him, and now she's supposed to be a submissive wife who does not study at all. So he asked her that question. He says, let's get married. You'll be a submissive housewife. And she's like, this can't work. I want to study. Like, it's my passion. It's my dream. It's what I do. It's what I need. I can't do this. I have to study. And he's like, well. And she's like, go marry her. She'll be good to you. I'll write a letter or something, and we'll annul the marriage. It never got consummated. So we'll annul the marriage, and you'll marry her, and it'll be great. Then she writes him another letter once they've been married and says, I'm so happy for you guys. I found a place where I can go and study. And I can't imagine where she's going. I don't know if she's going to America or what. But if her plan is to stay dressed as a man the rest of the time, I just can't imagine how many more deceptions it's just going to be Yentyl in every town that she's in. She's going to fall in love with a man. He's going to think that he's weird. And then she's going to be like, I'm a girl. And he's going to be like, let's get married. Oh, but you have to be a subservient housewife. And she's like, I'm going to America. This is every town that she goes in. Anyways, so that's my what's the deal with Yentyl. It felt like they had an interesting idea where, it's, like I said, it's basically a Mulan, or dresses as a man to do something cool. Then falls in love with the guy and has to... But honestly, they just didn't... I didn't even talk about the music. I didn't even talk about the music enough. They basically just didn't use their story well, I think that they wanted to do something with it. They wanted to do something with it, and that's why they had, instead of making the time before the marriage the crucial time, they made the time during the marriage the crucial time. And to me, that's so odd, because it makes your main character a character of intense deceit and betrayal, in my opinion. Like, how do you even justify her marrying the girl? Was it only 2 days before the wedding? Is that why? Even if it was 2 days, they still could have done most of what they wanted to do, all of the awkward bumbling, all of the like awkward moments where the girl's like, ah ha ha, and she's like, ah ha, get away from me. You know, they could have done the same things, but I think they wanted the girls to be married for a while and make a point of some kind, and I just think that it came at the cost of a story that makes more sense, you know. Then you get to the end and his reaction makes no sense because they never really set it up. Like we never get a song from him, so it's a musical. Okay, so I didn't count how many songs are in there, and I could look it up, but I'm recording this on my phone. So I'm gonna guess there are about minimum 5 songs, but I'm gonna guess there are something like 7 or 8 songs. All of them sung by Barbra Streisand. So we get 8 numbers on how she feels about the situation at hand. So why not I know that they got Barbra Streisand. They probably wanted to capitalize on her beautiful voice. Why not get a song from him? One song. You couldn't give one song to someone else? Like, we never get to see how he feels. Why not have... Okay, so instead of going to a therapist or talking to another friend or having a moment between them, why not have a moment where she's laughing with him, she walks away, and as she's walking away, he has a song about how he's never had anyone understand him like this, and honestly, if his friend were a woman, he'd marry her on the spot, but he's engaged to be married, and he's confused, and obviously he's a man, and he's never been attracted to men, and this is so odd. Like, why not have a song about that, where he's like, what's going on in me? Like, why is this happening? I'm so confused. God, why? You know, like, it's a Jewish film. They talk to God. You know, there's almost another movie, another Broadway play that does something similar where they speak to God in song. If I were a rich man. Anyways. I wasn't expecting it to be Fiddler on the Roof. Fiddler on the Roof is one of my all-time favorite movies, all-time favorite musicals. It is beautiful. It is wonderful. I love it. Don't speak of it. I'm just kidding. You can speak of it. But it really is one of my all-time favorite movies, all-time favorite musicals. I think it's really well done. It's really well acted. Every song in there. I don't think I'd skip a song on there. If I'd skip any song, I'd skip Anatevka, because it's not quite as fun or interesting or pivotal. But it's a love song to their town. So like, how can you even be angry with that, you know? Even the song that I like the least is a love song to their town. Like, they're basically saying, like, I mean, it's not much, but it's the town I love, basically, is what they're saying. They're like,